gonna be a 2-chapter live stream. So anyway, I'll just jump straight to it. We are doing an overhaul of 1861 progress so far of the campaign. You watched the 6-minute stream before this one. Otherwise, go back, watch it. It's there. Anyway, what's going on here? Right, we were talking about capturing Richmond in the last stream when we got interrupted. We are there 40%, and we have this placeholder on the Army of Virginia. But our main fighting forces, of course, if you follow this series, you're aware that the Army of Shenandoah is up here under Johnston, along with the Army of Northern Virginia, which actually has opened up a second perk. I'll assign that. This is the Siege Army, and Army of the Shenandoah is like the fighting, moving ambulance corps, attack, defense. We can see here that around 10% currently sick and around 10% sick. That seems to be the norm, whether you're on hostile state territory or not. Around 10%, a tiny bit less for certain leaders here, but anyway. So the overall situation army-wise, I guess we start with that, is that the Union is now fielding 104,000 at the year's end. I've seen them being up to 130,000. That's the highest number I can record having seen, and the Confederacy is down to 85,000. But I do believe that the game doesn't count a couple of units being transferred off map by rail to other theaters. Remember, we have sent western brigades from eastern armies around Richmond that were fighting, and now they're reinforcing in the west where they're well needed. So I think the Confederate forces might be a tiny bit larger than these, but on the other hand, the total difference here I calculate to being around 19,000, which kind of makes sense because the largest recorded difference I have seen so far is 30,000 troops, and with the Union consistently outperforming the Confederacy when it comes to losses, the average is around 2-to-1 losses when the Union AI is attacking. It might well be that it actually, the Union manpower advantage is only 19,000 at year's end. But I get the impression that the Union AI is low on volunteers and recruits, draftees and volunteers, because otherwise usually they are increasing recruiting quite heavily. They did early in the campaign. So it's bad being outnumbered, but we are playing defensively and the AI is not that competent. I feel I'm fairly comfortable. When they were 30,000 ahead, I played with 50,000 ahead. You really can tell. But now with the reinforcements coming from Richmond, or these two large armies here in around Manassas, I think we will be able to hold any stupid AI attacks. So it's going to be a long war. The Union's not going to be able to decide this in 1861. Well, that's a given, considering it's the 29th December. Right, so that's the army. Should I talk about the future plans for the army? Well, ironically, not trying to be ironic, but I was intending on focusing a bit on Navy in this campaign. That hasn't happened at all. So the name of the NK, South-Going Navy, yeah, that was something I came up with before starting playing. So I don't have the economy to build a Navy right now. And as you can see, Navy tonnage, 31,000 to 130,000. I think this is how many ships you have at sea currently. It doesn't count ships inside the ship reserve, depot, off-map, area holding, repair pool. Because this started around 60,000 and this started around 120,000, right? So, but Am I ever gonna be able to afford to build and research projects with ship technology? I don't know, because one of my major problems, if you follow this series, you know it, I've been harping on about it. I'm bleeding money from my treasury, even though I have consistently shown a surplus during the entire campaign. Actually, it's mostly been more than 100 million surplus, and I do have a discussion forum post on the Steam game community discussion place, and the developers has answered. I tried to send a save to them. It's a bit complicated, so they're gonna jump in and examine what's going on here. And people are talking about, oh, but have you considered paying back loans? Yeah, and I'm saying like, no, I haven't done. Okay, but if you buy stuff, well, I clearly stated that I am not purchasing. My total purchases so far are 5 or 6 brigades, 3, 4 maybe at the most depots on the map, and one prison camp. That's it. I haven't built any forts. I haven't purchased any weapons. I haven't imported any weapons. I've been extremely economical with my means, and yet I keep losing money. I've taken one debt. You start with a 40 million debt, and we're taking a 25 million loan, and that ruins our credit rating. It takes up the interest rate. Well, actually, isn't the interest rate gone down? I thought it was over 7%. My conclusion is that the budget is broken, and other players of the game a few of them has confirmed that they feel the same, that the surplus does not correspond to the amount of money in the treasury, which is unfortunate, because that is like the most basic surveillance you can do of the economy, right? If you have a surplus, you expect to get a little bit of cash, you spend cash in the game. Right now it feels like you might as well either turn out to manage finances, forget about credit rating and money, and just loan and buy everything you want. And if you play that way, it's like the lemming falling off a cliff. Like 1865, you don't care about the world anymore. I don't like playing that way. I guess some people do. It's not bad or good, it's just a matter of taste. But I mean, if the Confederacy were to exist after 1865, sure, they need to win the war first. That would be the first priority. But there's no way they would ruin their economy totally and not care anything about it. So I'm trying to balance my budget at best that I can. All right, so I wasn't going to talk about the economy that much here, but yeah, let's examine. Union national morale, I talked about this earlier, is low because of naval battles. We've been fairly successful. What else? And we also taken towns, Cairo and Louisville, I suppose. So national morale is lower than you'd expect at this stage of the war. I'm not saying we haven't been unsuccessful on the battlefield, but we also haven't really swept the Union off the. I mean, their army is still larger than ours, so considering that and how early it is, their national morale, this doesn't really affect that much, because national morale, if it's very low, troops can start to capitulate. If their unit morale is low, that's a tooltip that's coming up, but 61 is not enough to do that. And morale of armies, that is just going up and down depending on how rested. We had battles recently, so this, if all armies rested up on their respective side of the border, I suppose all sides should be nearer to 100. It's just currently our state of our armies is a little bit better because we've been winning the battles most of the time. As you will see, I mean, we won 33 out of 41 battles. I can tell you that I withdrew from one battle and it wasn't even fought. That's one that we lost. And the other one was a 4v1 that I almost rage quit the campaign over. It was not because I lost it. I knew I was gonna lose it, but the game just, I had so many wonky things happening right before the stream, and then during the stream it just kept happening. I had 20 annoying quirks and bugs happening to me, and I just lost my patience. So that's one of the losses here. I think they started on 6 when the campaign starts, which is weird. I might be bad. Casualties 2-1. makes sense. Trade warfare. Okay, we lost 8-1 in trade warfare. That makes sense. I haven't. Okay, let's dive into trade warfare a bit. The Union has a total cost of trade warfare 45 million. All right, that is through privateering. Yeah, I haven't really sent out. Oh, I do have a privateering fleet, do I? Let's see. That's garrison. Those are my fleets here. Here, wait. Here's the Atlantic Raiding Squadron. Have they? Oh yeah, they have gained experience enough. I mean, they start with Sea Raiders 3, which 25%. It allows blockading trade nodes, import prices plus 25%. I guess that's for the Union. So I mean, with this one sitting with the red circle over Nicaragua, Cuba, Spain, France, Britain, one ship, the CSS Sumter, sorry. Is that enough to give the entire Union a input price? As usually, you don't understand. I mean, there are tooltips, there are percentages, and you're like, okay, fighting efficiency against blockading fleets. Well, isn't it on 100%? It's on, you know, they haven't been able to catch this ship. So we've been doing some. It is on raiding command, isn't it? Yeah, blockade. Okay, maybe I shouldn't blockade. Patrol the coast. Okay, my bad. I should probably put this on raid instead of blockade. But it says this allows blockading trade nodes. I am sitting on trade nodes. I should be blockading to use this perk, right? That's why I put it on blockade. If you raid, then the fleet operates opportunistically against smaller detachments of ships within the enemy blockading fleet. So raiding is attacking other blockading fleets. That's what I should do from my ports out against the Union blockading navies. All right, I don't understand this, but I'm trying to learn. It's a naval learning campaign. All right, we could go for torpedoes. No, mortarboards, supply colliers. We don't have any provisions here. Limelights, blockading squadron. Maybe dull, but being a safer job than that in the infantry for soldiers. There's never a lack of volunteers in a blockading squadron. Blockading efficiency 5%, level up by blockading. Okay, I guess this is the one we should take. Phoebus attack, battery runner, and port defense. Okay, yeah, we're gonna do it blockading squadron. And we're gonna keep on blockading. It says patrol the coast. It says intercept enemy merchant ships. It's talking about ports. All ports within the fleet command range are affected. Okay, let's see. Can we examine these trade nodes for France? No, we cannot. It just shows like goods. The lack of transport. Yeah. This is the UK. I guess those two are the most important ones. All right, so we can't really get any. What about here? Our cost of. Now we're gonna go with the Union. So through blockades and privateering, they lost 45 million. Is that only the Atlantic Raiding Squadron that inflicted 45 million losses? That's good if that's the case. You know, when they have 14 blockades, and the ratio is 14%. And you can pause the stream and you can examine. Certain ports are 100%, others are 2%. I'm not very interested in this because really what I'm doing is I'm waiting for my two ironclads to. I'd say they're waiting to be fully constructed. Not repairing, but they are in fact sitting in ships in harbor pool and repairing. They started at maybe 25 and 30% or so, and now they're up to 60 and 71% after say half a year. So I'd say sometime summer 42, these guys should be on 100%, Manassas and Virginia. And They have 10 guns. They're very large. They cost $500,000. They start in the pool. I haven't paid for these ships. Maybe I'm paying for them to be repaired, but I would like to research and build more of those. I can't right now. So where was I? Okay, yeah, I want to engage different enemy blockading fleets. I had one battle happening at Galveston because I didn't realize how naval battles were fought, and I was lucky and blew up a frigate, but I lost a couple of small seafaring ships. I really don't know how to fight the blockading fleet, except that I'm waiting for my ironclads to finish construction, and then we're gonna play the South Coast Navy campaign with no money. Okay, so if you jump, like, let's see if we can correlate our 300 million trade warfare loss so far to the finances tab. Do we have an expense? No, we do not. You know, I would think that 300 million loss is just reduced revenues, right? So we would have had better tariffs income if it wasn't. I mean, I've seen the surplus go up and down no matter if I do any purchases or not. So it must be that the trade casualties, no, trade warfare cost decrease our income. Shows the accumulated estimated costs of the war on trade and infrastructure, not taking into account secondary effects like high inflation or lower people income. These costs materialize mostly in lower tax revenues and repair outlays, right? So we have lower tax revenues in tariffs, I suppose. So this number isn't really that useful. I would have made 300 more money if the Union hadn't blockaded me. That's good to know, I suppose, but it's interesting. 300 million, that's a lot. It's 3 times our total surplus estimated per year. So meaning we would be up to 400 million if we hadn't lost 300 in trade cost or blockade cost. How does that work? Our tariffs are 350 million. Would we have gotten 650 million in tariffs? Yeah, sure. The Union has 600 million. We've been up to over 400, but we're down. So I guess this number here is how well the Union is blockading the South. Tariffs are charged for imported goods, increasing their cost. This may lead to lower corporate profits and higher inflation estimated per year. Imported goods. Oh, yeah, okay. So, and then the Union blockades our exports to the European nations as well, right? Sales taxes, could that be it? Sales taxes charged for all goods transaction leads to lower trading capacity in goods for SMB. But it's only 70. It's like our exports are really not that important. So we're not selling that much cotton. King cotton isn't that powerful. Makes sense historically. We've been up to 100 and now we're down to like, yeah. And as you can notice, consistently it says 70 here, but the graph shows 80. I don't care so much about it, but the graphs and the numbers are never in accordance. Maybe the graphs are correct and that is why I'm losing money. I don't know. It's not working as it should. I'm sorry to say it. It's I can live without it for now, but it's a work in progress. So when I report like, hey, I mean, I'm not complaining about the entirely broken numbers here to the devs, but the devs seems to be incredulous to like, no, you shouldn't be using them. There's no bugs in the game. Like, yes, there is. Well, I might be. I'm playing a mod. I've told them. Maybe it's the mod that changes these basic numbers. Maybe my game is broken because all the time when I check the integrity of the files, there are missing files in this game, and other players has the same problem. and if you repair the game, it breaks the mod. So I'm thinking like, well, the missing files is probably because the game, when you just copy paste the mod files into your game directory, it will change the original, so you can't repair the files. But then the mod might be some of the files, and other files might be actually broken of the vanilla game. It's a mess. It's a hot red burning pile of dog mess. Anyway, Navy, it would be more enjoyable for me if I could get my economy in shape and order, so I could start investing into subsidies. As you can see, I have 0 subsidies currently, and I also don't, I try to keep my, after like playing a lot, half a year and a lot of time and streaming and recording, I still can't do anything really with my, I can't buy stuff, which is not that fun. Could my incomes be lowered because of the harder difficulty level? I don't think so. I think it makes it AI stronger. I don't think it makes me, as a human player, my player side and nation weaker. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Okay, economy, we're down to 20, and they're on 110. Wow, that we used to have half their economy, I think, when the campaign started. So definitely something happened to our economy. It has shrunk. This is the factor that represents the economic strength, company profitability, trade flows, technology, and fiscal strength. Right. I might be wrong about this. Don't quote me. You have to go back to the very first video that I recorded and recheck it. Or you could just start the AOM mod and check these numbers. I'm not gonna do it, because I don't consider it worthwhile, because I don't trust any numbers in the game. Military experience, if you win a battle, I suppose you get a little bit more, but if you lose more troops, you get a little bit more for that reason, because we always get the same. I think the Confederate starts with 1 more military experience, and half a year later we have 1% more. I'd say if you win 4 out of 5 battles, maybe you should be the one gaining a little bit more military experience. I suppose I should have a little bit more experienced brigades, troops on the map, than the Union. If not only because I kill more of his troops than he kills of mine overall. Anyway, this only means that new commanders, I don't know, every year you get new commanders, or is there a random creation? I need to read the manual, I guess, but with military experience, more entrenchment can be constructed. Yes, my armies now have gone on from 3-4 engineering points to around like 6, 7, 8, even 9, 10 if it's a little bit larger. At Richmond, with the mega armies fighting there, I had like 30 or 40 engineering points, so we're back to those insane numbers. But on the head, over 40,000 troops, 30-40 engineering points are only gonna take so far, and I was attacking, so it's better. New commanders have better initial experience values, but I don't know how you cannot manually order new leaders, so I don't know how they're created. Let me know in the comments, so I don't have to read the manual, or I go in and check that as well. The index is pretty bad on online, in the online manual, so I don't like to search stuff. They have like 15-20 chapters, and if what you're searching for, you don't have an index with where you can just click and go, so you have kind of manually have to search about the information text about the game, the manual, a lot yourself. Okay, I think are we about through here? Yeah, I'm not gonna go through these battles. I'll scroll through here and you can pause and you can check it out yourselves. We've had multiple battles at Springfield, multiple battles at Cairo, multiple battles at Louisville. So the Union AI set to the lowest aggressiveness setting at the campaign initial start is consistently attacking. They've been attacking at 2-1 odds, 3-2, so they have 50% more than I do. Even 1-1, less common. And once they attacked, at least once I can remember and recall them attacking at 1-2, like 4,000 troops to 8,000 troops. So I think higher, some of the attacks, they've been so much outnumbering me that it's been hard for me to fight them back, and I felt like my armies were really struggling to hold these positions in a fairly okay way overall. Not the tactical battles themselves, but like from the war perspective, yes, Lincoln demands more aggressive action taken against the Confederacy. Attack them, drive them out, and bleed them. Even if you lose more troops, it's okay, we can afford it. Kind of the Russian way of, Soviet way of making war, potentially. Well, you will probably see more battles in these locations. But if I say in a video title, 5th Battle of Louisville, it might be the 6th or the 4th or the 3rd or the 10th. I lost track, and I don't feel like counting exactly. So just go with it. There's a lot of skirmishes, battles, smaller battles around here. Okay, let's talk a little bit about plans for the future. Yeah, I want to build a navy, I want to spend some money, but with the current resources that I have, which is my army, if I could magically off camera transfer a couple of armies around here, yaddy yaddy, maybe I'd like to reinforce my Louisville, Kentucky, Army of Kentucky here. It's up to 10,000 right now. I'm not sure that's going to be enough, because I'd like to liberate Kentucky. That would be my summer of 62 overall strategic goal, I think. Capture Kentucky. All you have to do is capture Louisville, which we already have done, and defeat all of the Union armies in Kentucky. Well, I don't think you have to defeat them. I think you have to drive them off the Kentucky territory. Okay, because then I would get better Kentucky support. I wonder how many Kentucky volunteers I have and fielded forces. Let's examine, shall we? Fairly sure. Tennessee, and here we have Hood has 4,500 Kentucky forces, but the better way to find out how many Kentucky troops you have is to go into here. Yeah, they are fielding 4,200 troops. They have 900 volunteers. So that means, I think, yeah, that's the thing. When you cancel something, did you see how we jumped off to another military unit? That's a consistent interface bug. Off camera, I will do dozens of these checkups, and every time I have to close, go in, reselect the army, the army I was in previously, and go into it again. Do that 50 times, and then go into a battle where the game is totally funky, and you're gonna rage quit, as I did at one time. Alright, so the Kentuckians are all here, although that's not 4,200. So the numbers doesn't add up, as usual. 4,225. 4,225. That's how many Kentucky. They've had 600 casualties. They only have 50 support, so you don't want to lose a lot of Kentuckian troops. Oh, I kind of did not think about that. I would like to get the state support up, alright? Okay, again, Fort Pulaski Garrison. Thanks, game. But why isn't Hood's division 4,225? And if you remove the disabled troops, that doesn't add up to 4,225. Anyway, we do have 800 or 900 volunteers. I'd like to get most of them into this brigade, which is the weaker. But I suppose I could give some troops to Uyghurs 4th. Why do we have... Okay. Oh, my bad. Oh, we have I'm sorry. We have Kentuckians here. What? Wait. Okay. We have a Tennessee brigade here. Give me a second. Go. Do we have any? Oh, okay. So ignore everything I said. I'm an idiot. We have 3,023 Kentuckian infantry, and we have 1,000 Kentuckian cavalry. That is around. I'm not gonna calculate if that's the exact number, but it's very close. So I'm giving green reinforcement orders here. I might no, that's gonna be enough. I don't need larger brigades than that if they're not experienced. Excuse me. Why? I've forgotten what I was talking about. All right, 1862 strategic objectives. Right. We control. No, we don't control Hartford, but I don't think there are any Union armies around this area, so it should be easy to capture. We don't need to. I mean, according to the tooltip, we don't need to capture it. We just need to get rid of any army around here in eastern Kentucky. But to me, it looks like all the Union armies are around here. Maybe there is a Union army out here that we aren't scouting. I don't want to walk around in winter time, losing troops. We control Grayson here. We do not control Maysville. But if I reinforce my Kentucky troops, maybe I can achieve the objective of cleaning out Kentucky and having them secede. It's very bad that the AI hasn't walked into undefended Charleston and Gawley Bridge here, because they really could have done so, and they would have taken control of West Virginia. No, I thought there was a West Virginia will secede tooltip here. You have Kentucky, you have Missouri, where you have Union support below 60. That's something we could do, but that is okay. Oh my God! Elections are coming. Oh my God! Of course, there's an election in the end of 62. If Union support is below 60 on this date, a Democrat victory will cause Union National to decrease the until it breaks. I mean, so we can. Okay, we can. They are at 60. Oh my God. Okay, so this campaign is over. All right, that was fun. I had fun playing. There's no way the Union AI will not just bash its stupid AI head against the brick wall. And I mean, even if I tried to, I could not avoid the Union. Okay, I just remember there was an election in 64, and I thought under 60, I was aiming for that. You know, I could retreat from Cairo and Kentucky and give back some towns. That's 7.6 points of national morale. I guess I have to do that if I want to keep playing and not. Oh, okay. At least we're gonna play. At least we can enjoy the skillful max difficulty AI until November 1862, can't we? It will cause the national morale to decrease that until it breaks. I thought you got a flat 25, minus 25 for a democratic victory. That's what happens in. On the other hand, we need to get the Union morale down to 10 to win the game, right? So bit below 10. In the vanilla campaign, it's 25. So it's the AOM overhaul mod that gives it 10 as a goal. But I mean, apparently the unit could survive losing, having a peace democrat in power as a president, right? It would put them down to 35 if they lost 25. But here it says, sorry, it's really hard to find the tooltip. It says you will decrease steadily until it breaks. Okay, so is that going to take a year, 2 years? We don't know. Maybe we'll examine that. But apparently the Confederacy is winning the war handily, easily. Oh, I wasn't aware of that. No, I don't know how to somewhere. I know I'm sorry, but I know I've seen how to make West Virginia secede. Have they already? No, because then it would say yes here. Could we capture Washington? Potentially, yes. Maybe I could have done it after the Battle of Richmond, when the army that was occupying Richmond was low in morale and readiness and had just retreated. I probably could have taken my armies. I didn't want to end the campaign that way. I'm not saying I'm 100% sure I could have done it, but probably I could have trashed the AI. I just didn't want to end the campaign that way. You have to limit yourself a little bit when playing this game. Call it role playing. Let's pretend there's like a decent 100,000 garrison in there. So we're not gonna do that. I'm just gonna tab out to see how many viewers I have, and see if they have any questions in the chat. All right, makes sense. No questions. So let me know, what do you feel about the game? How do you play the game? What impression do you get from I know I'm rather negative. I stand by that opinion. It has great potential. So let me know what you think. What would you like to see me record and discuss and show? And what do you think the devs should focus on, etc.? What do you think about the state of the game? Is it worth $45 in your mind? Am I overly pessimistic and critical, or is it very relevant what I'm saying here? Pretty sure there's other stuff. Yeah, okay, so projects. In 1861 we finished 2 projects. The farm mechanization 1. So we got crops production and volunteers 7.5% and 2%. That is lowered from the vanilla game. Trade deals, 1 more lucrative trade deals. We get up 4.5%. I think it's 5% in vanilla, so they nerfed it 0.5%, which is 10% of the actual value. Yeah, that's a little bit of a nerf. But I already had subsidies to trigger this when the campaign starts, so it's not something I have invested budget means into subsidies to achieve. And I had some agricultural money, and I poured some subsidies in here. I did, and I would like to get it up 1 more step, because I really would like more volunteers, because I have very few volunteers available. And infantry still, we only have 12,500 volunteers available, fielding 90,000 troops. So you might ask, why aren't you recruiting a new Alabama brigade and a Georgia brigade and another North Carolina brigade? Because they are the 3 states with the most available volunteers. Well, I guess I already recruited quite a few North Carolina and Georgia brigades, 4, maybe even 5, and maybe there were a few of them already on the map. So it feels like a longer term plan that is better to save some reinforcements for my current brigades already. Alabama, though, they're fielding 5,600 troops. How many brigades are that? Let us see if we can examine the Alabama troops. They should be in maybe Army of Illinois here in Cairo. Not sure. Mississippi, Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. All right, they're not here. Well, where are my Alabama troops? Are they in Kentucky? Are they on their way from the west, from the east? Sorry. Tennessee, Kentucky, Tennessee. Okay. I don't have any. Of course, I have an Alabama division. Could they be? Okay, they could be mixed in somewhere with other Louisiana. We have Louisiana troops. We have Mississippi troops. We have Texas troops. We have. Oops, sorry. And yeah, we go to Fort Pulaski again. All right. The other way to search for what I'm doing, trying to find something, is to go to units, and then you scroll and read this minuscule text here. Here, Alabama. Oh, they are in a fort. That's okay. Another. Oh, look, there's a lot of Alabama. No, 3 small units of fort garrisons. Those are not the Alabamians you're looking for. Jedi mind tricks. Okay, see, I can scroll through here, which is probably... No, wait. I don't use this a lot. All right, let's go. Here we go. Oh, here. So according to the ledger, there are no Alabama field armies. How about all? According to the ledger, all the Alabama units we have are a battery in Spanish Fort, Fort Gaines, and Fort Morgan. Am I crazy here? Or is this broken? I'm gonna go all that text, and I'm gonna turn it off, and we're gonna turn on Alabama. This is certainly not 5,000 men that should be in field arm. You know what? They might be okay. They might still be transferring from Richmond, the Battle of Richmond here, and not be on map. Okay. Griffith, Mississippi, and Louisiana. Okay, no Texans. All right, let's go. Do I have Alabama troops in Missouri? You spend a lot of time in this game wondering what the hell is going on. Well, like, where are my troops? Unless you keep it all up here. Unless you know. That's kind of like, why do you have all your Missouri troops in one army? If they take a lot of losses in a catastrophic battle, isn't that catastrophic for the state morale? Yes, it is. But first, they're fighting on their own home turf, which gives them better morale, so they should be here. Okay, but what about the Arkansas troops? They're not fighting in their home state. They're fighting across the border. Shouldn't you spread them out? Yes. I should spread them out, as it was historically, as if I understand it. Western troops were fighting in the east and vice versa. But then you don't know where they are. This way, I can create an Arkansas division, and I'll just put all the Arkansas troops in there, and I'll put it in one army, and I'll know where they're at. That does not apply for my Alabama troops, but that's because that's because I'm an idiot. Yes, but also because, speaking of the Alabamians, here they are in Eastern Tennessee. Oh, they're in the Army of Eastern Tennessee under Pickett. All 3,500 of them. Do we have some? Okay, that's not all of them, but yeah. So maybe I'm being, considering they have reserves. You know, I'd like to. This one is newly recruited. I know that because I picked this one as well, and maybe this one as well. I'm not sure, but anyway, why not have these 3 Alabama brigades reinforced so they get up into better size? Do you want large brigades or do you want many small ones? I'd say I already pay the recruitment cost. I think the reinforcement cost is lower than recruiting new small brigades. Also, I probably already have my best leaders on them, right? So by increasing the size of these brigades, I'm just going to utilize my better leaders. They're not great leaders though, but I don't think there are better leaders available for Alabama. That I could just, we have artillery, we're gonna go with infantry. Right, so we have a couple of colonels here. You see, they're highly mediocre. No, not artillery. So by increasing the size of the brigades through reinforcement, we cut down on costs. We maximize the efficiency of our leaders. I suppose maybe there's a base cost for upkeep of each individual brigade that is not depending on the size of it, and if we have a higher number of them, we pay more upkeep in total for the same manpower. So we're just gonna, actually, you know what, I'm just gonna try to get as many reinforcements in here as possible. When I was designing this, I wasn't aware that Alabama was one of the 3 states with a fair bunch of volunteers. Now this is not the total number of Alabama troops in the volunteer pool here. It says we should have more, 5,600, right? We have very nice state support. We've taken like 15% of our total number in casualties, but I mean, I should be using these troops in battles. They should be in the front line suffering casualties. Sorry, I'm nothing against people from Alabama. That's not it. But like, just because they are in a position where they can suffer casualties, right? I don't understand why they're not in the unit ledger though. Why they don't show up? That is, they are on map, right? And now only one of them shows up. Why is that? No, oh, that's because Arkansas is not Alabama. So let me know why these troops don't. What am I missing here? Non-size, alphabetic, state. All I see are 3 Alabama volunteer batteries. There are no field armies. So, another thing that's broken, right? I mean, I might be missing something, but I really... So where are my... Oh, look at this! We have a 2nd Alabama division under Withers. You know, and now we're up to... Okay, I'm pretty sure 3,500 plus 1,900 is the amount of Alabama troops. So, okay. What we should do now is we should move over one of the, it really doesn't matter which one. I'm trying to even out the sizes of the divisions. 1,900. My math isn't very good here. Which one? 1,900. The smallest? Yeah, the smallest. Okay. And I also wish I kind of could move it next to the... But you can't drag it inside and have it appear at the... Like, I don't know how you best move a division inside the OOB, Order of Battle. You can detach it and reattach it, and it will end up in the end. Last position. So I could reattach... I could remove... I could take this cavalry. I could detach it. Yes. But of course I end up in Fort Morgan Garrison with 300 units available to select. I have no idea why. This is a new... Okay, so... And now we have an independent unit here. I can take Shoop's Florida artillery and I can reattach them. Yes, and I'm gonna end up... All right. And now I'm gonna reattach. I'm gonna reattach the cavalry. Just gonna transfer it into Eastern Tennessee, where that's, yeah. So now, oh, Lee is the commander of the Army of Virginia. Why can he all of a sudden command a corps? So now I have the cavalry at the end. First I have 4 infantry divisions, like you know, it looks nicer, cleaner. But is this a UI that is acceptable in a war game, in a strategy game in 2022? In my mind, no. I might have missed something. Maybe there's a better way to handle these things, but honestly, I don't think so. There we go. And we still won't have the Alabamians next to each other. Second Alabama. Oh, no. I don't wanna. Did I click transfer? I did not. I just clicked up here. How? Oh, never mind. Anyway. So here are our 5,000 Alabama troops. I think that's it. You know, this is the largest brigade, so you might consider, like, is it commanded by the best colonel, brigade commander? Yeah, looks like it is. Good. Are they all Alabamians? Yes, they are. I'm fairly sure. I micromanage that because I'm an idiot. I got OCD. All right. So what happens if I subsidize agriculture and I get 2% more volunteers from my farm mechanization too? Well, I suppose I'll get 2% more income in volunteers, and I certainly need that. Honestly, I feel like I'm just japping about. I wish I know what I was talking about. It's like, it's good that the Confederacy is struggling with a realistic and historically correct, very weak economy. Yes, it is. But I just feel I should have lower revenues, so I didn't have a surplus here, and that is the reason I should be bleeding money and forced to take loans. I should not. I mean, if I do manage to get a surplus here, I should be increasing my treasury. That's what's eating me up, and 100 other things as well. Okay, thanks for watching. I'm gonna let the timeout run out, and we're gonna celebrate 1862 like it was. We have a. Oh yeah. I might end this on a high note here with a. Yeah, I just remember that we have a battle here. Commodore Foote is here with 3 ironclad, and he okay. And he's bombarding the Fort Pillow garrison. And we actually we should have a navy here somewhere. Oh yeah, of course, here it is. A bit south at Memphis, we have 34 ships under Commodore Buchanan. So we're gonna let this battle run for a while. I hope they don't capture the fort. That would make me annoyed. Yeah, the 3 ironclads would probably shoot this fort to pieces eventually. What's this? Under artillery fire? Well, yeah. Now you tell me. We don't have any heavier. I just wonder if I were to put a battery of 6-pound field guns, would I have the same effect as putting a very heavy artillery battery? I don't have really heavy, like 24-pounder howitzers. Are they good against ironclads? Probably not. But let's say you had, for some reason, 20 or 30-pounder rifled, like modern rifle guns. Would that help? There's no way of understanding from information inside the game. So you have to summarize from your historical knowledge and guess and try it out. Yeah, I guess that's one way of doing it. I kind of like to plan ahead and know what I'm doing from information inside the game. But so we're just gonna see if we can put the hurt on the ironclads here a bit. Am I yelling? I'm sorry. It's just very loud game sound. There comes the bombardment sound. We lost four casualties. We're still at 84. Oh look, we are really putting the hurt on the ironclads with our 10 firepower. There is a way somehow to understand how many artillery pieces there are in the fort, but I gosh darn it can't remember how you do it. Wait a minute, did they just push further south to engage my river flotilla? Yes, they did. Oh, that's probably what happened, why they started taking such heavy losses here all of a sudden. That my impression is that you cannot move past the fort, right? Because they will be locked in the zone of control of the fort until they've defeated it. Yet these guys move down south and manage to engage. I don't mind. I want to fight at Memphis port. You know why? Well, we have something called port defender, which says fighting efficiency within port radius is 25%. A level up by fighting naval battles. Is this a port radius battle? Maybe, I guess. Yeah. I don't know how do you see the port radius? Is that just a small little yellow circle that there? Am I within it? Do we have a perk effect? You know, both perks are mentioned here, but are they in effect in the battle? I don't know, because we're certainly not fighting a blockading fleet. I don't think so, at least. So is the port defender perk in effect? I don't know. So many questions all the time. Too many questions all the time, one might almost say. So we have, is the fort battle over? Unit disintegrates? That doesn't sound good. For whoever. The engagement was a remarkable strategic victory for one side or the other, with the enemy fleet steaming to the safety of their harbors. 2 ships captured. That's good. It's good. The condition of the enemy fleet is believed to be barely afloat. My fleet has suffered 1 sunk. The condition of my fleet is intact. All right. Oh, I didn't get time to check that tooltip here, but maybe I can. Yeah, it's the same here. Federal Mississippi River squad has disintegrated. That sounds very good. Yeah, that's what you get when you take damaged ship, attack a fort, then push on to the Memphis garrison and fight Buchanan's 35 ships. That's what happens, AI. I don't understand why you do these kind of things when you are set on the lowest aggressiveness setting. I think it would be kind to call you suicidal. That would be kind. Right, so we captured 2 ships, and now, of course, manually you just pull out every damaged ship, put them in the repair pool, because they should be steaming off back home and repairing, and I think sometimes they do with blockading fleets if you play the Union a bit and come back. But I haven't seen it happen with the Confederacy so much. So uses as chancellor 23%. All right, repair. And the Keystone State, 12%. Thank you. At this rate, I don't have to buy any new ships. I can just repair the captured Union suicide ships. Shouldn't you be more concerned about using this fleet to, I don't know, blockade my supply route to Cairo? Are you really interested in like capturing Fort Pillow right now, Union AI? And why would you take your ships from the fort when they're like shut up into pieces and like, okay, we're also gonna take on this river flotilla? Yeah, you know, we got a little bit of experience here on our third perk. It's very easy to just slowly, gradually, but that's the fault of 100 other strategy games, that the AI is incompetent. It's not unique to this game that AI, much more high budget, famous developer studios have AIs that are just I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you know of a game that has a decent AI. I would be happy to check it out. I would mention Gary Grigsby's War in the East. The AI isn't great, and when you play it, you feel like, oh, that. But you know, compared to many other titles, I would give it fairly high grades. The game of this day, the AI of this game. You know, when you play it, you feel like it's so bad. But when you really take a step back and it's like, okay, but other games have bad AIs as well, right? On the strategic map, it's not too shabby. I've said it before and I stand by it. In the tactical battles, it's not better than other games. It might be the same, or maybe even worse, or maybe that's just my experience when I'm playing the game. Okay, 1862, something interesting happening here? No, not really. We're gonna keep on waiting. The next thing that happens is that in 26 days we have military 2, which means nothing really. In 34 days more we're gonna prolong our 12-month contracts to. Other than that, we're just sitting still in winter camp. I think we're up from 22 to 23 million. Am I right? Pay attention here, audience. We do suffer some supply. It's the Army of Texas that has a little bit lack of ammo. I can live with that. The Anderson POW camp is overcrowded with 500 prisoners. Yeah, I'm not gonna pay money. So the mod changes the amount of prisoners you can have quite a bit. You can have, I think, 5,000 in vanilla. Here's 7,500. If you upgrade, it goes up to 15,000 here. No. Oh my god, 33. In the vanilla game, it should be 10 or 15,000. But it's $6 million. $6 million. How much did I pay to build the prison camp? It says here that it's 3 million. I can't remember how much I paid. I think it was less than 3.5 million. Anyway, I guess we'll just overcrowd Anderson because I'm not gonna pay that money. It's too expensive. I'm poor. Yeah, we could tooltip the economy alerts. Not that I have the money to do anything about it. Stop the video, check it out yourself if you want to. Charleston manufacturer is bleeding 21 million per year. That doesn't sound good. That's not how you lead companies. Louisville factories bleeding money. That's not my problem. What would we need? We need coffee. Wait, are you telling me we are producing 0 cotton? Oh, gain. No, 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 no. I don't know. But how can the South be producing zero cotton? We are also producing zero crops. No, 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 no. We're producing zero tobacco. Do you understand why I don't want to go into these tooltips and try to figure out what to do? It's just I don't think, if it is the way the game is set up to be, I think that's not good. If it's just a bug, that's not good either. It's just zero cotton crops and tobacco production. Oh, maybe it's because it's winter. Maybe it's just a temporary thing. Maybe we do produce these products in the summer. Of course, I don't know. Okay, so we're gonna go in map filters here a bit. Oh my god. I certainly hope you took my advice at the beginning of this video and you're not watching this. It's not bad recording. It's just sad. Cotton fertility. This is the fertility. That's the one we look for. Production and demand. Huh? Yeah. Hey, let's color code it all green and red. Like, yeah, I understand that that's surplus of fish, and red is deficit of flour. But it's just like everything's just, in my eyes, in my mind, this is all just green and red, and it's like boom. I want to see tobacco. Yeah, no, you need okay. Go in and check the icons. All right, that's niter, iron, livestock, forage. No, almost. What's this? Iron, steel. Okay. If I knew, this is because I'm a noob. I don't know sugar, how the icons for. Okay, are we producing sugar? Because I see a lot of green sugar on. Yeah, sugar isn't a problem. Okay, that's a lot of sugar in the South. Is that? I thought, if I would have guessed, I'd say the South was more of a tobacco and cotton producer. At least that's what they're famous for. But I'm not a specialist of Confederate war agricultural production. I just watch fairly easily available documentaries, and they they talk about King Cotton. Food? All right. So 5 minutes later, still struggling to find. Oh, they should be red. Oh, yeah. But we do have a cotton. Here's a cotton plantation. It's used to produce textiles in factories. Yeah, that's what you use cotton for, right? Okay. It has a low demand. No one wants cotton. All right. But are we producing zero? Where's that cotton production? There's no plantation here. Here it is. It's just not where the I symbol. Okay, so this one is. Well, they have the workforce. They're not paying any taxes. Okay, it has 3 dots, yellow dots underneath it. The condition is 100%. Okay, all this makes sense to me. The only thing I don't understand, why isn't it producing any cotton at all? At least according to the tooltip here. Yeah, well, the Confederate Department of Economics and Agricultural Production is saying that no one is producing cotton. Yes, we do have plantations for that purpose. They're not producing though. I you know, the economical information in the game is probably okay if you understand it, if you know it better than I do. I just don't know. I'm a beginner when it comes to it. I haven't put a lot of time and effort into it because I just think everything's broken in the game. It's not worth my energy and time. Yeah, the AI usually goes into winter quarters actually quite successfully. We had an attack late December. That could be the last attack of the winter though. I'm not planning any winter campaigns. I'm just happy to sit here with around 7-8% sick. And even, 7-8% sick of the total army size. What about in friendly territory? Are we still a bit lower here? Yeah, same here, 7-8%. What about the armies that fought at Richmond quite recently? Yeah, say 8-9%. Right, this is the siege army of Northern Virginia. You let me know what is your favorite siege perk and how do you feel they work? Siege firepower, 10%. That is leveled up by laying siege. What is siege firepower? You let me know. Is it artillery? Is it artillery plus the infantry? Is it the total sum of an army's firepower, like amount of rifles with experience and artillery pieces and caliber and leaders? What is firepower? It's 10% better. Whatever it is, something is better. Is it you shooting on forts, maybe? I don't know. But it's called siege firepower. So we're gonna have, I think Limelight is good. Limelight's so this perk doesn't give siege firepower. No, it doesn't. It gives siege efficiency. Yes. Siege efficiency. It also gives skirmishing efficiency during nighttime. Well, you don't fight tactical battles during nighttime because it pauses and advances to the next day, right? So that ought to be skirmishing efficiency nighttime in a siege situation, i.e. when you sit grinding on top of each other on the strategic map, right? But is that sieging or skirmishing? Is skirmishing and sieging something that happens both in a siege battle? I don't know. But 20% is a lot. So I'll take it. Yeah, I don't know. You can go on the Steam discussion forums and ask questions, and some people know this game really well, and sometimes they can answer your questions if you have them. I just feel that tooltips and the game manual, maybe it should be a little bit more streamlined information-wise. Yeah, I do think most of my troops, reinforcement rates, leaders, division names, brigade names, army names, pretty good. Why could I all of a sudden appoint Lee to a corps? Is it a 1862 thing? No, it's not. As you see here, I cannot appoint Lee. But I saw him pop up as an individual corps commander here when I detached. That is a mystery to me. My working theory was that no, you need, because he's a full general, he is not a major general or lieutenant general. He has a higher rank than these fellas here. And I was thinking, okay, so that you need to research the army reorganization policy and make 4 cross armies, not corps that are called armies, which is the case right now. I'll show you. The Army of Northern Virginia here is actually technically it's a corps because it has 3 cross X's on top of it. So it's just name-wise an army, but it's actually an independent corps. And you cannot upgrade them until you research a project called military. It's called, if you play this game, you know this, like military education, organization reform. How much does it cost? 1.5 million. That's not very expensive. With the new efficiency in management and staff work within the newly organized armies, general consumption of military is also reduced. Wow! Making supplying the armies easy and less costly? Are you serious? This makes it... as well as offer important core commander positions to ambitious generals. Hey, I wasn't aware. General consumption of military supplies is reduced. Hey, we need to do this. Like now. Sorry, I should have done this earlier. I wasn't aware that the tooltip. I read it, but my mind was focused on other stuff. So by upgrading to an army, you pay less for supply. Doesn't make sense to me, really. Okay. We have another squadron here. Is it the same? I think it is. Missouri River Squadron. It's a new leader, isn't it? But San Luis, 41. Like, the AI immediately just attacked. Well, Commodore Rogers, you're an idiot. Attacking with his navy. Also, it doesn't correspond. Oh, okay. 2 ships captured. Do you know, AI, that by losing ships to me, I believe you are giving yourself lower national morale, and that might make you lose the war. I can just sit here and watch you suicide on my forts, and you lose the war. Is that it? Is that what you're telling me? Yeah. Very interesting game mechanic, design choice. Well, we made it to mid-January. British intervention is 24%. What I heard, the only thing I heard is like one guy got a French intervention. That was one French army just sitting in Mexico doing nothing. So I thought like, oh, if you can get French or British intervention, that's it. You would more or less automatically win the game, because how could the Union fight? And I watched the documentary, and during the Trent affair, when the Union captured 2 Confederate diplomats on a British ship, Palmerston or someone, the Prime Minister, they actually sent 12,000 troops to Canada. I don't know how, like, 12,000 regular line infantry British intervening. Like, the Union was fielding 700,000 troops. How scary would 12,000 British troops? I mean, it sends a very strong signal, but how much could the British really? I guess naval wise, it would have been very, very, very bad, and trade wise for the Union to have the British intervene in the war. very bad. Land, militarily wise, maybe it's that's why you would want the British intervention. I haven't played and tried to get it going, so we're not gonna. This is not the YouTube stream. This is not the video. This is not the campaign. This is not the war. You want to examine intervention stuff. That's all I'm gonna say about that. The ratio is up from 14% to 22%. That's bad news for us. They've gotten their shit together at sea in January. They are increasing their performing. That's, I guess, Mexican Gulf, pretty good weather even in January. But how about the Atlantic coast? That should be fairly harsh storms weather sitting outside the harbors. But there you go. This is what you get for seceding. So we have two Union invasions. One is here by the... Well, we have two Union invasions. Both are by the same army. Yep, it happens. It's a bug. So it's actually only one. And we saw McClellan's Army of Occupation. Last time we saw him was back in November. But because he's invading, I don't think West Virginia has seceded yet. And we are in the Missouri State Guard, Army of Illinois, Army of Arkansas. Yeah, what about the Indian Army? Is it because it's scouting that it's not... Or is it because the game is bugged? There's also a small army called the Army of Texas that is in fact invading. Maybe it's too small to not be counted. Here's the Indian Army. It's the right... Oh, I have it under Army Order Scouting. Just by sitting here, they seem to be building up experience to increasing expert scouts, skilled cartographers, and soon... So like... Does that mean if I put any army on scouting, you would exploit it so that you get army experience just by sitting in winter camp? I think so. Yeah, don't do it. It's gamey as fuck. But this army, I'll show it to you. I haven't examined it very well. I just know they have crappy leaders. It's a scripted AOM overhaul mod campaign unit. You have Cooper's division here. You have a cavalry regiment here with nice brown uniforms from their volunteers for 64 months. It's a cavalry unit with rearboard muskets. It's only 400 strong. Very bad leaders. Yeah. And there's 4 of those small units. Oh, right. My bad. You can never give these scripted units other long rifles. You can only upgrade them to other cavalry weapons. So you're stuck with the Springfield muskets here, or you give them modern other cavalry weapons. Anyway, interesting army, right? Isn't it? But I mean, so you have this 2200. I would be surprised if they have any volunteers. Indian territory. No, they don't. They only have 2,127 troops. Excuse me. So I was thinking, you know, fairly realistic, have them operate during summertime over here. If there was something up here in Kansas to capture, is it like this fort? Maybe. Yeah, I'll send them there next summer. Maybe. But for now, I just been having them here. And it seems like if our army is scouting, no, they've been in reinforcing in tactical battles, but they've been 21 hours, 9 hours away, so they never made it onto the map. So I'm fairly sure they still haven't popped their first battle cherry. And the reason for that might be that they're actually sitting a tiny fraction south of here, but I have tried to micromanage them into this bunch so that they are sitting on top of it. But the game just says like, no, fuck you, sorry, screw you. No, you can't. Because if you give them order to move here, they're gonna move tiny slightly way. Nah. There is a circle around that says like, yeah, these guys are in the same location. Okay. What's gonna happen now is another army, one of the larger ones, gonna be outside and reinforcing in 15 hours, and it's gonna be a disaster. I'd rather have a small army reinforcing. Okay, so why don't you mix all these guys into one army? Well, because I was thinking operating, scouting, raiding, army experience. Silly me, silly me. We're gonna go to the 1st of February. It just feels like it looks better now, but I doubt that it's gonna help. It's just gonna mess something else up. And action, 1st of February. All right, that's the best I can do to summarize my 1861 experience and my 1862 plans. I will see you in the next one. Bye.